It appears VGK and Bruce Cassidy are done with the experiment, as I refer to it, and we should see more of a regular lineup for Game 2 between the Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers, with the exception of Pavel Dorofeev and Alex Pietrangelo. Can the Golden Knights bounce back from a 1-0 series deficit? We'll get to all of that as we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. I am the longtime sportscaster, marketing consultant, and the host of the new Believe in Vegas podcast. Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and the collectibles editor for the Hockey News. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You could find us wherever you get your podcast. We are the only daily Golden Knights podcast. That's right. And coming up ahead on today's show, we'll also talk about adjustments heading into Game 2 and locks of the night and predictions. We are brought to you today by Monarch Money. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $50 off of your first year at monarchmoney.com. So, Chris, as you surmised on yesterday's show, Bruce Cassidy is returning to the standard-ish lineup for game number 2. He's not going to start, against the Oilers with those jumbled lines, and the Golden Knights are still minus Alex Pietrangelo, well, as of yesterday's practice, and Pavel Dorofeev. And who knows, now you have Petro, who's day-to-day with a, quote, illness, and they're still out, so they're still minus those two players. And Ivan Barbashev returns to the top line. That should take some pressure, you would have to think, off of the forechecking of Connor McDavid or chasing McDavid around, particularly in that left corner. Victor Olofsson takes the wing position on line 2. William Karlsson centering the third line. Suffice to say, Tanner Pearson will not be on the top line in game number 2 on Thursday night.
Unless the Golden Knights need a spark, I guess. This is pretty close to what I had suggested in yesterday's show. This worked. I mean, different team, Chandler Stevenson and Marchessault and a couple other players, but this is the formula that worked. You had Eichel and Karlsson on separate lines. Again, you're not going to stop McDavid. It's impossible, but you're going to try and minimize the damage. And now you can match up that third line of Karlsson, Smith, and Howden more frequently, giving the top line of Eichel, Barbashev, and Stone more opportunities to score goals. You mentioned a lot how they kept showing Eichel just completely gassed from chasing 97 around out there. Well, Now Eichel can still focus on his defensive specialty while, of course, still trying to score some goals. And again, this line, Barbashev, Eichel, and Stone, was, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it was the best or one of the top 2 or 3 lines, call it, for the first month of the new season.
Yeah, and, when these two teams met a couple of years ago, I was thinking back in the playoffs, there was a lot of shenanigans and physicality.
It's coming.
Not so much in game 1. That's what I'm getting at right here. As the deeper we go into this series, the more bitter it gets, the more physical it gets, the more we have these rivalries within the rivalry occurring. We might see a more physical game as VGK now gets a little bit more desperate, tries to neutralize the speed of Edmonton. I expect an uptick in physicality tonight, and you think the same?
Execution was the buzzword on the Vegas Golden Knights side.
All the above.
Yesterday.
All the above.
All the above. Yes. I just saw that.
Yeah.
Execution was one of the all the above buzzwords during yesterday's pressers and after the loss on Tuesday night. Watching the Edmonton pressers from yesterday, the word is calm. The Oilers are very calm when they're losing, when they're behind in games. Coach Knobloch talked about his calming influence, and basically he wants to remain as calm as possible. So it has a better effect on the players. His concern is when you have a coach out there John Tortorelling it up all over the place. There you go. It's a distraction for the player. So he tries to stay as calm as possible. Well, the Golden Knights need to remove that calming influence. And the Oilers kind of dragged in the Golden Knights to the fight to a degree, I guess, in game one. The Mike Tyson theory, right? Coach Cassidy had a plan. Oilers in the first game punched the Golden Knights right in the mouth, so to speak, and that plan went out the window. So now it's a new plan. And I really think the Golden Knights need to do whatever they can to make the Oilers not cool, calm, and collected out there. There's nothing they're not ready for, the Edmonton Oilers. They went to Game 7. They were 2 goals from winning the Stanley Cup. So the Golden Knights can't really throw a scenario at them that they're not ready for. But you know what? After every whistle, get in someone's face. After just do a better job finishing those checks. Make McDavid, I know it's a nearly impossible task, but make him as uncomfortable as possible. We've seen Ivan Barbashev absolutely blow up some players with legal checks in the boards and the corners and such. Barbashev can land 1 or 2 of those on McDavid. That can change an entire series. Again, I'm not saying injure McDavid, but clean, tough checking, no different than the Oilers are going to be doing to the Vegas Golden Knights tonight.
Yeah, I think it definitely gets more physical too. Bruce Sniffles Cassidy must have allergies.
I'm Sniffles.
He must have allergies. He said that VGK sort of ran out of gas. Back-to-back penalties that were committed, power plays for the Oilers, and then, of course, the case we just discussed a little bit about Jack Eichel, and suddenly Eichel is just out of gas, playing on every unit possible. They're going to have to try to preserve some of his minutes in this game tonight. And again, the addition of Barbashev on that top line adds that physicality and forechecking element.
23 minutes in game 1 for Jack Eichel, 17 minutes at even strength, 2:15 shorthanded, 3:35 on the power play. So a little more maybe special teams than normal. And we've seen Coach Cassidy pretty much utilizing that top power play unit for 90 plus seconds of the power play. It's really that pretty much the entire season, and rightfully so. The Golden Knights power play clicked at nearly 30% throughout the season. As far as Jack Eichel's minutes overall in the playoffs, Noah Hannafin's leading the team at 23:08, Eichel at 22:30. And it's interesting because in round 1, I was concerned that Jack Eichel wasn't playing enough minutes. And maybe now this
until game 2, right? Like, or game 3 in that.
Game 3, I think, is when the shift in minutes occurred, because game 2 they were trailing, and that's when I was like, okay, get Jack Eichel out. Boldy and Kaprizov are out there for 25 minutes. Eichel's got to be out there for 23 of them, and maybe this is why Eichel hasn't been out there, 23, 24 minutes. And Eichel, I don't think, is declining the longer he plays, but he's definitely missing that ability to find that additional gear in the end of the game when the Golden Knights need it. I mean, Eichel's great at creating time and space for everybody. Well, if he's out there chasing 97 around the whole time, it's going to wear anybody out. A treadmill gets worn out watching Connor McDavid out there.
It definitely does. And either Eichel's had too much whiskey, Irish whiskey, or he's tired when his face gets really red. And his face was like blazing red the other. It was.
I don't think it was Irish whiskey, but
okay.
Hey, cheers, by the way.
Cheers. You don't agree that the Oil had more depth in that, opportunities and contributions in that first game? You didn't believe that, did you? Or do you?
I mean, what are you saying? Like that
I mean,
Oilers don't have the depth?
Their depth came into play more.
Oh, so depth definitely came into play, no doubt about it.
Well, you said there was no fourth line yesterday.
No, looking at the minutes overall is what I was looking at. So, again, the minutes are where the balance wasn't necessarily what we thought it might be. On the defensive side, Ty Emerson gets 643, whatever. Podkolzin, 747. And there was one other player that was really low in minutes. So then you look at the Oilers' average time on ice for the playoffs so far, and Podkolzin had been getting closer to 10 minutes a game. Emerson's been over 10 minutes a game and stuff like that. So the Oilers definitely shortened things up a little bit, and I think that'll continue. I mean, we know what plan A is, and that's Draisaitl and McDavid. Plan B is, if plan A isn't working, it's more McDavid and Draisaitl. And then the only real change that I saw Coach Knobloch deploy in the first game was mixing Evander Kane and Corey Perry up a little bit on that top line. I didn't catch any other adjustments live in the game. I'm not saying Knobloch's not capable of doing anything else, but when you have those two weapons, why would you do anything differently?
Hey, at least Sniffles isn't saying it's going to be a predictable game in game 2 like he did with Minnesota, and then he got zonked, right?
He does feel the series starts in game 2, so I wonder what Cassidy has up his sleeve. We'll talk about that.
You're already down, right? You're already down one game, though. And in a best-of-7 series, now you lose home ice. And I don't know if I believe in that theory for Cassidy. VGK has to execute better. We talked a little bit about this. And what do you mean, Coach, by executing better? And then he proceeds with a laundry list of things that he needs to change. And then he says, all the above. What does all this mean? What is that laundry list? He just kept going. At least he wasn't swaying. Now he's got the sniffles. It kind of neutralizes everything, I think, in his head.
Like I said, I got the sniffles right now. I got the sore throat, and when you wake up, your throat's all dry, and you get that.
We have bad allergies here in Vegas, folks. For the folks in Singapore that are tuning in.
Yeah, exactly. Really fast, just totally switching gears. Big thank you.
You're not going to talk anything about execution.
Oh no, we'll talk about execution. No, I just wanted to thank. We had an amazing YouTube as far as numbers yesterday, over 3,000. I think yesterday's show was our biggest YouTube video ever, and obviously, there's a lot of local people watching, but thanks to the out-of-market people, mainly from Edmonton,
Edmonton fans are terrific. Thank you so much.
Appreciate everybody watching this. Just very exciting to see.
And Singapore, number 3 on our list with a bullet. Moving up.
You talked about execution and all the things Cassidy's talking about.
Okay, hang on. Since you went off the rails a little bit, I just wanted to say I can't listen to Edmonton sports talk. They don't allow streaming in the U.S. They don't allow it from Canada to here. I couldn't stream the sports talk station in Canada yesterday. Okay,
That's interesting.
Back to the action.
Yeah, so execution, I mean, that was the biggest buzzword coming out of the loss and everything, and then back to not playing up to the standard and everything. It's one game. It's one game. We know what the Golden Knights are capable of. We know what the Edmonton Oilers are capable of. And this is where the Golden Knights need to test the depth of the Edmonton Oilers. That they passed the test the Oilers did in game 1 as far as depth scoring. Brown, of course, with a big goal. And Hyman isn't necessarily depth, but he's not McDavid or Draisaitl either. So that's certainly important to point out.
X Factor Brown.
Yeah, and then maybe we need to see an X Factor Howden do something maybe in game 2.
Yeah. Coming up next, what adjustments will we see from each team in game number 2? We'll get to that as we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. So stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page, and it helps you to reach the right candidates even faster. And I've used Indeed from both sides. I've had to advertise on there, and I've also applied for some jobs in the past, especially during the pandemic. And it is the best place to go, I think, to see jobs and to get noticed. And I think this is a place that you definitely need to post if you have a job opening and you need to fill it fast. And I've been in that spot before where you need the right hire. And you need that right hire like yesterday. The pressure's on, and every day without the right person is a setback. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs come in handy. They make sure that you see the post, it's seen by the right people, the right candidates, and right now. So now you can speed up the hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockdown right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast, Locked On Golden Knights. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel coming up on Friday. That's tomorrow already, Golick. We have our WTF edition where we take a look at all of your comments, good or bad, about VGK or about us. Saturdays, you'll be back in action again, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that'll be good. So it's the Chris times Chris Jr. show. What adjustments will VGK bring to Game 2? All of the above. So here's some of the adjustments that I just, went over here. VGK was late, as Cassidy said yesterday, late on the forecheck. They're going to have to pick that up, especially in the neutral zone. Did you see how fast how fast they were skating through the neutral zone? They get momentum and they break out. And as Cassidy said as well, they like to bomb the puck. They like to bomb it up the ice. Some other things. Do the Golden Knights get out of this finesse game, which we talked about a little bit? Who gets out of the finesse game first with all the skill that we see on the ice? It has to get mucked up in Game 2. Does Edmonton do it? They were both teams. Let me just say, I could compare it to my life because both teams were sort of in the friend zone. They were in the friend zone in that game. They need to switch off on one-on-one coverage, as we've discussed, the coverage of Connor McDavid. And, of course, we saw where Eichel has to do better on offense because he gives up all of his offensive one shot, right? You can't give up that much offense, just one shot in Game 1 for Eichel. I think that was it. You can't give up your offense. I think he needs to get back into the flow here in Game number 2. Also, for the Golden Knights, you need more, all the above. Shots on goal. Look for rebounds. And, again, they just need to put the stinking puck on net. And Cassidy was kind of funny talking about this. He goes, yeah, of course. You talk to the players, and they're like, yeah, I'm trying to score, trying to put the puck on net. But good defense, a lot of deflections, a lot of blocked shots by Edmonton in game number 1. And then I think another thing that we will see an adjustment is we will see more net front presence. Did you see the battle scar yesterday? Tomas Hertl, he's got a big old gash on his forehead. He's getting roughed up.
That's hockey.
Yeah, that is. Bruce said that's hockey yesterday again. And, they need a lot of help in the bumper. And they need, here we go. Cassidy didn't say this yesterday. He did not say that they need to take away Calvin Pickard's eyes. You know how they did in that first series.
I mean,
they
need to remember that.
Are those okay? Those are my adjustments. I'm done with that.
They're all
and
fair.
Then for VGK, all fair, all the above.
So, first of all, Eichel 2 shots per the stat report.
Oh man, dude,
you were close. Where
are you getting these numbers from? Rick.
Keegan Colasar. I mean, I'm going to start the discussion there.
Line 2 Colasar or
no? Line 4 Colasar. Now Colasar played 15-11 in Tuesday's loss. All, of course, even strength. 1 shot on goal, 9 hits. What I liked about Colasar's game is he was one of the few Golden Knights that was doing a good job at disrupting the breakout, those bomb passes like you mentioned a second ago. Colasar and a few other players, Barbashev would be a really good candidate, Brett Howden, some of the wingers would be really strong candidates to muck up those bomb passes, those breakouts. A couple times Colasar was jumping in the air, gloving the pucks down and creating a quick scoring chance. So I like Colasar's influence on Game 1, not necessarily as a line 2 winger. So if he can bring that same energy level, the fourth line might find a couple of, for lack of a better term, cheap scoring chances. And that's what the Golden Knights are going to need to maybe get a dirty goal, right? Pickard's got a bunch of pardon me, fighting some here. Pickard's got a lot of confidence right now, and he hasn't necessarily been tested as far as his reaction to a bad goal, right? A bad goal. I mean, Mark Stone's 5-hole goal, that wasn't necessarily the best opportunity or the best what's the word I'm looking for? It's what he should have come up with, and he rebounded well. You talked about taking away Pickard's eyes. Absolutely, 100%. Take away his eyes, make him uncomfortable, he can't be calm, and that's where I'm going to go back to. Drag the Oilers to the fight tonight. Drag them to the fight tonight. Don't give them those first passes, and do whatever you can. I mean, old school 80s Montreal Canadiens blue line trap, slow them down through the neutral zone, find a way to disrupt their timing, and those are some of the most important adjustments I think the Golden Knights can make today.
Does FanDuel have a line on an embellishment call? Because that seems to be the call of the playoffs. The Evan Rodriguez play.
That was bad. I
It's
mean,
called
I'm going to dive face first into the board so I can draw a penalty. Like, get out of here. That was bad.
You thought that was an embellishment? You thought that he did embellish? Oh no, he got popped. He went down the tunnel. Did he ever come back
into the boards? No.
He got smashed into the boards. Yeah, that was a bad call. We'll get one tonight. Is there a FanDuel line on that?
No, there's no FanDuel line.
Okay.
Maybe we can say who would do the
call.
I mean, what you're seeing and all the
Carlson just falls down. He's going to trip over stick tonight. He will draw one penalty, maybe two. He'll trip over sticks because he just can't see.
One thing that's bothering me watching all of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs is, listen, a high stick is a high stick. If someone clips you and whatever, it's a penalty, fine. I'm okay, unless it's a foul through whatever. But what's happening is anytime a stick is anywhere within a foot of someone's face right now, they're throwing their gloves, they're throwing their stick straight up in the air, they're down on their knees, holding their eyes like they just got gashed. And all the teams are doing this right now. All 8 remaining teams and all 16 teams did it in round 1. And this ain't soccer. Like, I don't want to see cheap penalties like that. If and the refs did a good job going back to game 1. Refs did a good job. They got together. They got the call on Hurdle right. Both refs in real time didn't catch it. The linesman is the one who actually advised the ref to call the penalty, which was good. And then the same breath, Barbashev got high sticked by somebody. They called the penalty on the Oilers, and then the refs got together and they never called the penalty, but they got together after the ref put his arm up and said, hey, that was friendly fire. It was a Golden Knight stick that clipped Barbashev. So you like to see the refs getting stuff like that, right? I don't
get it right this time of year.
Get it right.
That embellishment call was one of the worst I've ever seen. I was watching the game live and going, are you kidding me? So some adjustments for the Oilers. I think they're going to be more aggressive and they'll continue or take it up a notch, and force the issue at speed on the rush. I think that they know now that they could get behind VGK, behind the defense man. I just said one.
That's good.
Because that was Shea Theodore the other night. They're going to have to continue and to pack it in front of the net because, again, the strategy for the Golden Knights, it's not a secret, is to put shots on net and to look for rebounds. And so you're going to have to block out in front of the net. And then I feel that the defensemen, particularly Klingberg and Wallman, I think they might try to get more involved in the offense. I think we're going to see more shots from defensemen from the Oilers tonight. And the defense of the Oil outplayed VGK the other night. Quit it, VGK fans. I mean, it's right there in black and white. Like they're arguing with us about things that were just right there and so apparent the other night. So those are some of my adjustments that I would make for the Oil. Just be a little bit more aggressive, I think, with shooting the puck, again, with driving to the net. If no one's going to touch you in the neutral zone, keep on going. And another adjustment would have to be Evander Kane, hopefully, paid off the marker last night. I hope so. I hope he paid the marker.
Golden Knights side, just a couple more. Number one is going to be more shots, obviously. 17 registered shots, I believe, in game number 1. Just 7 high danger opportunities, none in the second period. The teams actually were 4-4 in high danger chances in the third period. Hurdle had a great chance that, of course, was stopped. But more shots on goal, number 1, and quality shots, quality scoring chances, high danger scoring chances. Golden Knights need to commit. If they cannot get clean entries, which the Oilers made that very difficult, they got to commit to the boring dump and chase game. I know this is something that we've talked about many, many times, but the Golden Knights need not a plan A, but a plan B, plan C, and a plan D. And at the end of the day, pucks on net, shoot, 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 even if there's no traffic in front of the nets. I know a lot of times the Golden Knights will hold the puck on the point if there's no traffic. Coach Cassidy talked about it, shooting for those rebounds. You shoot high, it's going to get gloved or blockered into the corner. You shoot low, it's tough for the goalie to eat it sometimes. That's any goalie. You never know what's going to happen. Those high tip plays, you don't see the Golden Knights do a lot of those tip plays from like the mid slot area and stuff like that. You see the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars utilizing that play a lot. Tampa Bay Lightning used to do that a ton. Of course, the Oilers do a really good job at that. So maybe some more stuff from the high slot. Just you never know. Shoot for sticks, right? Another thing Cassidy says. Shoot low, shoot for sticks, shoot for shins, and that puck is gonna have some strange eyes come playoff time. So if they can find a way, as you said, to muddy up the Oilers a little bit in the neutral zone, disrupt their timing, put a few more shots on goal on the Golden Knights side, I think we'll see a much more even game. Not just at the score, but as far as just high dangers, 14-7 in favor of the Oilers in game one. And the shots, of course, were heavily tilted for the Oilers too. So look for a better second period while we're on it, Tony. Look for a better second period tonight for the Golden Knights.
Yeah, well, I'll take over one shot on goal, and I will also take a player other than
that would be a line. What over under 1.5?
Other than Caden Korczak to have that shot.
The risker. If Korczak's out there again, I don't mind Korczak. He had a nice game.
I want Hutton out there.
So did you catch Coach Cassidy in the presser? He called Korczak the seventh defenseman, and then he tried to walk it back.
Seventh and eighth, and then he goes in between sniffles, and he goes, the seventh and eighth. Well, they kind of either one of those guys, seventh and eighth guys. Leave Ben Hutton alone. Protect him at all costs. Coming up next, our locks and predictions for game number 2. Stay with right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Have you ever checked your bank account and wondered, where did all my money go? It's a weekly, daily occurrence here in Vegas between dining out, checking out things on the strip, markers. Online shopping, entertainment. It's easy to lose track, and that's where Monarch Money comes in. It is your personal CFO. It gives you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center, and you can track all of your accounts, your investments, and spending all in one place, so you stop just managing your money and you start to build wealth. And when I started using Monarch, I just realized that I spend money aplenty here in Sin City. We go out and we eat a lot, me and my friends. The all-in-one convenience, instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, you're tracking your spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner, it is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, you can set your goals, and you can stay on the same page without all the stress. Take control of your finances today with Monarch Money. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com, and you'll get 50% off of your first year. Again, use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll receive 50% off of your first year at monarchmoney.com. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Tomorrow, WTF Saturday, the Chris and Chris Jr. Show, which is the YouTube exclusive. And bro, man, what time did you get to Juan's Flaming Fajitas the other day? Was it like a 10:30 in the morning or something?
11,
what time?
Our reservation 11 when it opened.
Were you the first person there when it opened?
We were one of them, and the great thing about that place is there's like 9 staff members just sitting there, like waiting to help everybody as they come in. And of course, by 11:30 is we're a margarita deep, and the place is already jam packed and stuff, and it's just amazing. Another perfect experience there.
Yeah. Now
I hit up once for a sponsorship, man.
No kidding.
Fancy food. I don't care about the money. Give me
trade out for food, trade for food.
Yeah, no, give me a fajita platter for 2 once a week. Call it good.
Okay, food and margs for this guy over here. I think tonight we're going to see more goals. I do. I think they were just kind of feeling out each other, the two teams, the other night. VGK is going to have to get out of the scoring funk. They have to score goals, and that's I think that's going to be the key moving forward. They have to score against this team, and I think we'll see more of an up and back sort of an effort tonight. Aiden Hill, does he continue with another slow start in this series? Perhaps tonight. I have something to point out. Okay, so
through 2 periods.
Fair. If the ice was bad and it forced VGK to skate east and west, why did the Oilers not have a problem and they continued on their path of north-south? I've been thinking about pondering this for ever since that game, and Cassidy said that, and he's been a lot of He's been just, I don't understand. He did it in the Minnesota series too. He's just been, he complains or he's crying. Oh my gosh, the icing calls, 5 of them, and they never called them. How do you miss 5? We need to go back and evaluate that. In any event, I will go with all the above tonight. I am going to go with, I'll take Hurdle because he's got the battle scars and he looks like a hockey player now.
I only get 160 characters on Twitter because I don't pay for it, so relax, Tony.
Okay, and I'm going to go with Golison. I'll go with Golison. He's bound to break through sooner or later.
Okay.
And I think they'll have more chances in the game tonight. And I am going to go. So like when we did our predictions, I said VGK loss, win, like that. That's how it was going to play out. And they wind up losing this series in 7. You think now that the Golden Knights are going to come back with 4 straight wins? That's what they have to do.
They have to. That's my that's my prediction. I gotta
Oil. I'm going with the Oil tonight. I'm going with the Oilers 5-3. I'm going with Edmonton in game 2. I just think, momentum doesn't carry over from game to game, Bruce. No, it does not. Okay, but it will tonight. It will tonight. 5-3. I think more scoring tonight, more physicality, more time in the box for these two teams tonight.
FanDuel has this as a pick 'em. Minus. I'm sorry, stop that. The over under 6.5 is minus 110 both sides. My apologies there. Minus 142 for the Golden Knights. So the sport books are telling us that they don't think the Golden Knights are losing 2 games in a row at home. So that's
I don't think I don't think that I don't think Edmonton is seeing this as playing with house money after they stole the first game.
No, they're not.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of teams would be satisfied with a split. Then you go back home. You can't allow VGK to get into the series or back into the series.
No, I agree. The Oilers are, again, calm buzzword there. They've probably flushed the game out already.
We heard the word poise with Minnesota. So these guys have been playing too cool for school.
No, it's all fair.
All the above. All the above.
I'll align with the sports books. I don't see the Golden Knights losing 2 home games in a row, nor do I see the Oilers winning 2 home games in a row when the series shifts back. And I think the series will really start in game number 5 next week, obviously. So
forget about game 1.
Let's roll us back with a 4-2 victory for the Golden Knights. I'm going to stick with my prediction of VGK in 5 still. And I'm still live, I guess. It's unlikely, but I'm still live there. As far as Eichel should have some more space out there because he's not going to be chasing 97 around all game. And let's try. I'm going to keep going back with Theo. Theo's my guy in this series. Shea Theodore is my guy this series. He had one play in a 5-on, I think it was a power play, but took the puck basically on the breakout, never got challenged, had almost one of those dazzling goals where he goes end to end. So we'll see if Theodore can continue to do that and hit my 7+ points prop.
You're gonna hit 7+ points.
7+ points for Shea Theodore this series at plus 560.
So you bet that you took that?
No, right? I didn't. I know because it's a bet you couldn't make locally.
Oh, you could not make that locally. Okay. Does he? He didn't have any points the other night, did he?
Assist, I believe.
He did. Yeah, he had to be -1 or 2 again.
Do I still have it up?
I want to take the turnover prop in game 2 on Theodore.
Shea Theodore was he was a -2 with 1 assist.
Come on. He's awful. Not very good. Okay.
Talking about the offensive influence.
We appreciate everyone tuning in.
Take us out. Yeah. Take us out. No, my son actually has a concert tonight at his school that he's performing in. So
so that's why you're not going to the game.
Well, the beer curse also. I can't go.
What's the beer curse? The fans in Canada, they like it, especially the Molson folks. But
so
what
just
is
really fast? I brought a beer to Melissa, of course, who's our hero for all Vegas Golden Knights season ticket holders, for reminding everyone what
How
our
many beers
contract
did she
states.
have that night? Do you think that was she getting loaded up there?
All the above.
Yeah, all the above.
So I don't know. I'm just guessing. Hopefully she wouldn't drive. But no. So really fast, I brought her a drink, as all Golden Knights fans owe her for a long time right now. Number one, and then the Golden Knights didn't score any goals after I brought her the beer. So someone said the Gallic beer course. So I used my new favorite app, Chat GPT, to create a creepy version of me as the beer curse.
Don't forget, tomorrow it is WTF Day. We could talk more about the beer curse and all that. It might continue tonight. Drought City.
You get shut out tonight. I'm 86 from T-Mobile.
Yeah, I think exactly. They don't allow me in. You notice that, because every time I go there, VGK loses. So
yeah, that's why they don't allow you in.
And plus, they all give me like dirty looks there at the T-Mobile Arena.
Welcome to my world.
Saturday, it is the Chris and Chris Jr. show. Don't miss that, the YouTube exclusive. Again, back again tomorrow, and we'll review everything that happens tonight and much, much more. From my man, Chris Golick, I am Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. Thanks for tuning in, especially our everydayers. And we'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take care.